We are about to witness the Canadian Grand Prix, which holds significant meaning for Formula One and its fans due to its rich traditions. Montreal is one of those North American cities, along with Mexico City, that truly breathes Formula One. The very first Canadian Grand Prix was held in 1967, not in Montreal, but in the small town of Bowmanville, Ontario, at Mosport Park. This track hosted the event initially before it alternated with Circuit Mont-Tremblant in Quebec for a few years due to safety concerns. In 1978, the race found its long-term home on a man-made island in the St. Lawrence River in Montreal, at what was then called Circuit Île Notre-Dame. This track was later renamed Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in honor of the Canadian racing legend who won the first Grand Prix held on this circuit. The circuit continues to host the Grand Prix to this day, and the upcoming race will be the 43rd held at this location. Montreal, along with Mexico City, is known for its enthusiastic Formula One fan base. The city's vibrant atmosphere during the Grand Prix weekend underscores its deep connection to the sport. Before it starts, let's find out more about the Canadian Grand Prix and refresh your memory with some more or lesser known facts. The Canadian Grand Prix has been a fixture in Montreal at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve since 1978, with a few exceptions. As of the end of the 2023 season, the race has been held in Montreal 41 times. Initially, the event ran continuously from 1978 to 1986. After a hiatus in 1987, it resumed in 1988 and continued uninterrupted until 2008. The 2009 race was cancelled due to a dispute, but it returned in 2010. The event was cancelled again in 2020 and 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic and travel restrictions, but resumed in 2022 and has been held every year since. However, if we count the 8 races held at Bowmanville and 2 at Mont-Tremblant, it will be 53 Grand Prix in total. The highest attendance at the Canadian Grand Prix was recorded in 2017, with over 360,000 spectators from around the world attending the event over the race weekend, which holds second place among all North American Grand Prix, and we will see if this year's Canadian Grand Prix going to break this record, since Formula One gaining more and more popularity over the world. It's worth noting an intriguing fact: the 2001 Canadian Grand Prix holds a unique place in Formula One history. It marked the first instance where two brothers, Ralf and Michael Schumacher, finished first and second respectively in an F1 race. Ralf claimed victory, with Michael closely behind. Additionally, both Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton share the record for the highest number of wins at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Schumacher secured 7 victories between 1994 and 2004, while Hamilton matched this feat with a win in the 2019 race. This shared record not only underscores their dominance in the motorsports, but also makes me think that the number 7 seems to be cursed in Formula One. It's just an observation. Meanwhile, Jacques Villeneuve remains Canada's only Formula One world champion who never won the Canadian Formula One Grand Prix at the circuit named after his father. His best result was second place on debut in 1996, a year before his championship triumph. Additionally, it marks the first and so far only F1 victory for Polish drivers, achieved in 2008 by Robert Kubica. Notably, the most dominant drivers on this track are Germans, who have achieved 24 podium finishes at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Interestingly, Sebastian Vettel's third-place finish in 2014 stands as the only time a German has finished on the final step of the podium here. Amongst the fun and interesting facts, there is also a tragic one. In only his second Formula One race, Riccardo Paletti was killed at the start of the 1982 race when he crashed into the Ferrari of pole-sitter Didier Pironi, who had stalled as the race began. Paletti's death occurred just 5 weeks after Gilles Villeneuve perished during qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix, and marked the last death during an F1 race until Ayrton Senna's fatal accident at Imola in 1994. In 2022, the grid slots in which the two Ferrari drivers lined up were painted red to commemorate 40 years since Gilles Villeneuve's death. The following year, Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc ran a tribute helmet to the Canadian. In my opinion, the most memorable moments in the Canadian Grand Prix, those I witnessed, include Lewis Hamilton's first ever win in Formula One in 2007, which was chaotic due to the safety car being called out 4 times during the race. The rain-hit Canadian Grand Prix of 2011 stands out as Formula One's longest race, lasting 4 hours, 4 minutes, and 39 seconds, with the safety car deployed 6 times, setting another record. The circuit's challenging conditions for brakes prompted surface relaying for that year. Jenson Button's victory in 2011 created one of the most memorable moments in the history of the event. Additionally, we can't forget Daniel Ricciardo's first ever win in 2014, where he overtook Felipe Massa, Sergio Perez, and teammate Sebastian Vettel to chase down Rosberg's Mercedes. With a move on Rosberg, Ricciardo took the lead, and a collision between Perez and Massa on the penultimate lap brought out the safety car, allowing Ricciardo to secure his first F1 victory as he led the drivers over the line for the final time. To conclude, we mustn't forget the iconic Wall of Champions on this circuit. The final corner at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve turn 13 is a tricky chicane leading onto the start-finish straight. It earned its nickname, the Wall of Champions, due to the number of F1 greats it has caught out over the years. The list of drivers who have had accidents at turn 13 includes Michael Schumacher, Damon Hill, Jacques Villeneuve, Jenson Button, and Sebastian Vettel. In March 2017, it was announced that the wall would undergo modifications ahead of the next race due to its deemed danger for the new design of F1 cars. Who do you think will etch their name onto the Wall of Champions on this circuit, and what are your expectations for this year's Grand Prix? Let me know in the comments. With you was F1 Digest, and love the speed.